5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban.
You guys, it is time. Upper bracket finals is ready to go.
PSG.LGD versus OG. Game 1.
Best of 3 to decide which one of these two teams will be secured for the grand finals of the International 2018 tomorrow. There's a lot on the line for this best of 3 series. What can we expect from this draft? Are we seeing any heroes? We've seen the trends evolve, obviously, Fogged, over the last couple of days. But as March said, OG has had Daybreak.
They definitely have, but LGD, the way that they dismantled Liquid is definitely a bit of concern. And also hearing the roar from the crowd every time LGD is mentioned has to put a little bit of intimidation onto OG.
And look at the booth. They're coach drafting.
Yep.
One of the only, there was 2 teams I think who did that.
71 did that.
LGD and Mineski, yeah.
I think exactly. EG is too, right?
Bulba is drafting for them.
Bulba is drafting, I believe, for them as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of burden off your players, which is a massive benefit in my opinion, that you don't have to worry about draft or strategy at all. Like you give your input, of course, what you think is good, but like the overall picture, you can pretty much just like relax and leave it up to your coach.
Yeah, the coach is of course QQQ, and for those wondering.
He has been there forever as well. Even during TI4, like after TI4 when I joined the team, he was also the coach already.
So we see from the LGD side banning a lot of the no-tails hero, Chan and the Furion, where no-tail likes to pick in the first phase to just secure the lane and then don't show too much.
Oh, look at that. They're preparing for IO Gyro. They ban out Morphling, but yeah. OG's going to take it themselves, even though they haven't played it so much here. They played it that one game earlier, of course, but I think besides that, they didn't get to actually use their IO too much. I mean, most teams haven't. It gets banned a lot.
And not even Gyrocopter only, they even paired it up with the Spectre, I think.
Yes.
And then there was like the Immortal Spectre, like 5k health, and then IO overcharge.
90% damage reduction or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was super intense. But yeah, of course, against Klings, there's a Weaver, there's a Klings. And they go straight into the Weaver.
Weaver, one of the better heroes versus IO, and a opener with a Drow Ranger as well.
What an opening.
All right.
Is that securing Weaver's lane? Is that now set with the aura coming out?
I mean, Weaver's just one of the better heroes versus IO. It's so obnoxious playing that hero. Your armor is super limited. It's a hero that can just get into the backlines on top of you, and you don't provide any control for your team as a support.
Do you think OG is ready to pick Gyrocopter here? I heard that Gyrocopter IO, even though it's been popular a lot in the Western before, coming into this TI, more of the Chinese teams were playing IO and Gyro in the practice, and then it's more like Western teams kind of copying it. So do you think they're ready to play it here?
I think OG, just like we were talking about, they're more prepared for this. I feel like they're going to have some other type of strategy coming in here rather than just going for it. But they just go for it anyway. Just kidding.
It's okay.
It is difficult to know how much these teams are prepared and how much they knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And maybe this is still part of, baiting something out that is yet to come.
Yeah, I mean, Gyro against Drow can go either way.
Yep.
If you ever get close, yeah.
Yeah, they have to be prepared for this, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like you don't give away IO and don't expect a Gyro. It's always there. But of course, Gyro can be played in 2 lanes, even 3 lanes for some teams. So that last pick Spectre is on the board again for OG if they really want to run that against the Drow Ranger.
Well, yeah. Personally, for me, in my opinion, LGD was thinking, OG is not ready to play IO and Gyrocopter together, and then they were kind of baiting it, and then once they took the IO, like LG didn't want to take the Gyrocopter themselves, so they just left it, like kind of disrespecting that OG. They are not ready to play IO and Gyrocopter. That's what I feel. What do you think?
I think actually most of the teams aren't really ready to play it. Like they play it because other teams play it, but they don't get the full potential out of it. Like when I saw even Liquid play it, they didn't look nearly as strong as LGD did when they had it. Like, it just looks like LGD has it completely mapped out what they want to do, like to 100%. And yeah. So they should definitely know how to play against this. It shouldn't be a surprise to them.
I like this Centaur ban. It's a hero that with the Stampede you can get in the face of the Drow and it can just ruin your game completely. And of course we saw the other day IO Gyro or IO Centaur. The damage reduction strategy was crazy. Also strong dueling, the IO and the Centaur. You actually can put a lot of pressure because the IO spirits actually give you that slow to provide to the Centaur can catch up and get the stun follow-up.
And a lot of mana too, you can just spam your Storm.
Yep.
Rather than like casting it once and being out of mana.
Yeah.
I'm kind of expecting some kind of player maker for the LGD size mid lane here, because they do have both side lanes where it's a Weaver and Draw Ranger. Do you think Invoker is a good hero for LGD at the moment?
I mean, we can't see too much yet, but of course I'm a big Invoker fan. I think, especially against IO, it's not bad at all. If you ever relocate in, you can get that devastating combo on 2 heroes, immediately take them out of the fight, and of course Somnus is one of the best Invoker players. It would make sense. I don't know how good his Quartz Wax is. I'm sure he can play it, but I think his Exort is like definitely way better than his Quartz Wax.
I think I'd like Wyvern for either side, actually.
Yeah,
I think
very
it can
good
fit very nice, because it's very, it can be very good versus IO to set up your ganks. And even, for OG, since they're playing versus Drow lineup, that auras can be very strong. And it works well with just your combos, too. Just we've seen that displayed a couple times now, just what this hero can provide for your team.
Seconds remaining.
Yeah, we're looking for the big position 4 team fighters. Dark Willow,
Remaining.
Phoenix,
Yeah.
Winter Wyvern. Lots of choices. Or the actually ban or the Arc Warden. They don't want to get cheesed by Necronomicon 3 Arc Warden.
It's a Thompson special.
Yeah. It's actually very scary when you go up against it. Suddenly you have like 2 Necro 3s right on your door and you're like... They should have won that game. But, of course.
We actually had somebody send us how much the Necrobooks gave. They gave over 10,000 gold.
10,000 gold total,
yeah, over that whole game. It was pretty crazy. But also, they banned the Arc Warden because they're building a range strategy around Drow Rangers. So you want to be able to benefit your aura. And yeah, there's the Wyvern.
Yeah, not a big surprise. Good setup against the Gyro. And IO relocates.
Sets you up for your Gust plays, sets you up so you can set up your Scarabs in the fight too.
Yep.
So you want to pick up some hero for the no-tail here, not giving too much information. Some position of 5 heroes.
Well, he played Bane and Prophet and Chen. They're all gone. So let's see what they will pick for him. His IO used to be one of the best in the game when he still played support for Secret, I believe, or was it C9? I think it was C9.
C9.
Yeah. Oh, Enchantress, of course.
And she's left in the pool.
Forgot about that.
No-tail played that hero as well, though, right?
We have seen that also ran on support for them, yeah.
I mean, Chen and Ench are very similar in the early game, at least, in what they provide for the lanes.
Would you been loving to pick a versatile hero in the 3rd pick here? They pick Lina here for either Jax or Thompson, and then I think Ench was the same idea where they can put it in the off lane or position 5.
Yeah, they can go anywhere and do anything. And right now, LGD actually doesn't have the best heroes against Enchantress. Like, that if he ever gets out like 1 or even 2 creeps, then he can just like decimate all of their lanes.
Weaver does pretty well against it later on in the game, but Draw Ranger and Winter Wyvern is terrible against Enchantress in the laning phase.
Yeah.
Yep. We might even see them put Draw Ranger middle. We have only seen VGJ Storm do that, but I think it's actually one of the easier ways to avoid the weakness that Draw Ranger has.
Well, that's just, we haven't seen that much, but that's the solution to the Enchantress, and that was... This is LGD picking Witch Doctor. That was Xnova's one of his most played heroes throughout the year in the DPC.
I'm pretty sure it's also his best hero.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's great versus Enchantress for the creeps, but also versus IO when you're paired up with somebody when you're tethered in.
It is good against Enchantress after level 6, where he gets the what do you call Death Sword?
Yeah, the Death Sword too.
I'm still worried about the laning phase for the hero in the earlier phase of the game.
Well, at least you have the Witch Doctor to stun the creep for 5 seconds, so he won't be able to like really dive you.
Yeah, it's the Pugna.
Pugna.
I was thinking Pugna or Invoker for OG was going to come out there. Just versus that Wyvern, it's just that damage that you don't care about Cold Embrace. You can threaten towers.
Most of the time it tops on Pugna, right?
Yep. And I really like Pugna here because a lot of their damage from the LGD side is if you attack right click, and then Decryfy can negate a lot of that. And also, when you're maledicted from the Witch Doctor, Life Drain can be very helpful to make you tankier. And then if you heal the IO, and then Gyrocopter gets more, even more, right?
There's also, if you tether yourself, if you get tethered to the Pugna, you can do that like infinite mana trick thing and infinite healing. And also the Pugna versus Winter Wyvern, if you're in a good position, you can actually decrypt the target that's cursed, and you can kind of counteract the curse a lot of ways too. So it's a pretty good pick here for OG.
Of course, provides the tower push that they were lacking as well. Maybe a bit scary. Like actually no. Pugna nowadays late game is very strong. With the Decrepify duration, Nether Ward.
What are we thinking PSG.LGD needs for Sumnus? Is that the last one they need?
To ban.
They banned Invoker
They banned the
themselves.
Invoker.
I thought that's what they needed. Maybe they don't think so.
I haven't seen them play it once, but don't you think it's like okay sniper game? Because they don't really have a gap closer for the OG, and sniper is okay against Pugna in the lane as well, right?
Sniper's very good. We haven't really seen him in the main stage. Have you seen him picked at all? All right.
I have seen
I remember
Sniper
the group
get
stage.
Position 4.
The support sniper from Jabs, I remember in the group stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that
What, that lost, I assume?
Yes, they did.
Yeah. Doesn't sound too game-breaking. But yeah, Sniper's definitely good. What else does Sumnus play? Storm is out.
He wants something that can lane well.
Invoker is out. Something that benefits from the Drow too.
Dude, I don't know if it would be something as simple as like a Dragon Knight. You benefit from the Drow in your ranged form. The lane's pretty tough versus a Pugna though.
Dragon Knight, yeah.
Is there something that can lane properly versus a Pugna that's like, you'll win the lane regardless?
Not a whole lot of heroes. Pugna is a pretty lane dominant hero.
Yeah.
Broodmother, but like it's crazy to say like this upper bracket team and Brood is so favored. Like I don't think LGD plays Broodmother at all, right?
Yeah. Of course, Mirana. We forgot about that. Mirana is actually a really good pick.
It's one of his classics too. Sumnus loves that hero.
That's why OG's up there, not us. But yeah, now we'll have to see whether it's Eng offlane or not. It is Eng support. Wraith King offlane. Eng Wraith King is a super pressure lane. Like that Drow Ranger is not going to have a fun time there.
Well,
they might even want to dodge lanes.
One other thing that changed a lot with the IO is that before IO used to pair up a lot with the offlane, but what we have seen LGD do past days is that they pair it up with their carrier a lot of times. So Eng risking your offlane, I heard it from someone, he's like really strong lane at the same time too.
Yeah, very strong lane. Of course, gives you a little bit of tank, which you like the front line. Gives you late game if you itemize into the Radiance.
They've only got one stun on the side of OG. They've only got a Wraith King stun. It's pretty unreliable.
Foaming missile.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. So what are we looking for someone? It says DK. Not too bad.
I'm thinking something elusive too, but oh my god.
That's not what I thought they would pick.
They do not have a lot of physical damage early on OG's draft.
BSJ, talk to us. What's happening?
No better way for me to analyze a draft with a game with the Slam Jammer, Huskar himself. Last pick, we saw the power of last pick Huskar from Optic yesterday, and I think it's going to have similar power this game, not only because it's going to have a good lane, but there's no way to kill this Huskar when he has a BKB. And I feel like with this Drow lineup, he's going to have the start he needs. And I'm fearful for OG's draft. I think they're going to have to step up the pace of this game in order to basically be aggressive consistently throughout the mid game so that Huskar doesn't have the space he needs. But that's pretty tough if he's like 3-4 levels ahead in lane like we've been seeing with these last pick Huskars. But there's no better way to know than just to watch the game, and no better casters than my boys Toby and Center. Take it away, boys.
I love the BSJ, I absolutely love it. And I love a drone lineup with 5 range heroes. It's death from afar in this LGD lineup.
Except one guy. One guy likes to get up close.
That is true. The Huskar.
So we were talking about how we think LGD were lacking a frontliner, and we were throwing up the Dragon Knight, and then toward the end of this, you just look at it and you're like, oh, wait a second, there's this one Sumnus hero left that has a good laning stage and can frontline and be that sieging hero, and I just think this Huskar pick's amazing. I think it's one of those trump card picks that we've seen just win games. They mentioned the Optic versus VP game, number 1. And this game looks relatively similar. Now my question is, so what I wanted VP to do against Optic was to put Enchantress against the Huskar lane and swap their Dragon Knight to the offline. This time it's a Pugna, who I think does significantly better against Huskar than Dragon Knight does, but I don't know how good this lane is for Pugna. I feel like in theory Pugna should lose it, but it might not be as one-sided as we think, and it does look like OG will default lane.
Yeah, they are.
They are sending the Pugna.
So they're going to put Thompson in towards the mid lane up against the Huskar. That leaves the Io and the Gyro combination. So we talk about how great LGD's lineup is, but there's still that Io Gyrocopter. He has been, do I dare say, the Naga Morphling of this tournament. And if you can get the power into Ana, the potential for heavy physical damage is there to carry and get through the life of the Huskar, but it's all about the laning phase. Charles is already going to be buffed up on the off lane. It's going to be a rough top lane. They are running no tail on this Wraith King, so support Wraith King, and that leaves Seb on the off lane Enchantress. One of the very interesting times when Seb's not playing this big AoE stun at the big rotating controller factor. I'm interested just how well he can actually rotate as well. X-Nova on that Witch Doctor, a hero we kind of all wanted to see him on, and we actually get now an old classic counter both the IO as well as the Enchantress.
I'm talking about this IO Gyro. I'm really curious to see how Ana chooses to build the Gyrocopter item-wise. I think when you're against a Huskar, Gyro... Oh, let's see. Not too much going to come out of this. OG just securing the top rune. So, yeah. What you generally run into as a problem... Oh, he's fine. Yeah. What you run into as a problem with Gyrocopter against the Huskar is that you don't have very good single target damage. You're a spread damage carry that deals massive AoE damage but can't really target down that single hero. But if you get that Aghanim Scepter from the IO on level 15 and you itemize maybe something like a single target item such as MKB or even a Daedalus somewhere down the line, perhaps Ana can be competitive with this Huskar of Somnus, because that has to be what OG are talking about in the booth when this draft is over. It's like, okay, what is our solution to this? Do you feel like Enchantress can do it alone? I don't think so. I think he's definitely going to need some serious help.
Well, Tops is trying to do it in the mid lane. Fortify is up, and he decrepifies Somnus to try and keep him away from the CS. But it won't matter when first blood is down on bottom lane. X-Nova will fall, no tail. Also looking to body block up into Arme, another Hellfire Blast. Heavy harassment, they've already got the Blightstone available. And that's a great start for OG in their laning phase.
That lane is very, very strong, especially when Wraith King hits level 2. Now the tricky thing with the Wraith King support is getting stacks on Mortal Strike. You need to get last hits. I'm curious to see how they go about this in that lane. Oh, no tails, still harassing. X-Nova having that level 1 in Voodoo Restoration, so just #1 priority down here for LGD is not to play aggressive, they just want to stay alive.
Yeah, you got to keep Arme in the lane, you cannot have him falling back, and he cannot move away from the creep wave either. That CS is also so important for the draw range progression. Top lane, you've got Jirax as well as Ana going after Chalice. They have the Sentry Ward down, that's why Chalice took so much damage. And Ana, no Rocket Barrage, he went for a 0-1-1 build. So he can't get up close and personal and just beat the crap out of him. He'll try and do it from range.
And meanwhile in the mid lane, Topson is struggling. He is 2-1 against 5-6 on Somnus. He has already used all his tangos and his healing salve. I was saying this lane might be better for Pugna than Dragon Knight. It is, but it's not good. Does not look good so far. He has to use Decrepify every time he wants to CS, and he only has that like small timing window of the Decrepify running. Once that is over, Somnus plays aggressive.
And all the harassment he did to Somnus, a regeneration rune. That last attack, Somnus waits it out so he gets as much duration out of it as possible. But Topson, he's actually got some decent damage. Miss uphill, is it going to happen? No, it doesn't. Decrepify, he just has to wait, and with the blast, Topson! He has been an absolute genius in the mid lane. Jirax will die up on top lane in the meantime with the Splinter Blast coming out.
He still died from the spears. He actually, I think he died after Somnus respawned. So this is still just an even trade. He does get that experience, I do believe. I was sure Topson was fine. He ran into the tower to die on purpose, right? But I think, did he do it too late? Not sure.
Maybe. Wyvern goes down on top. Ana finding his target once again. This time it's going to be FY, so the side lanes. In fact, all lanes jumping around heavily. It's difficult to see this kind of stuff coming. They can't even see the rotations. There are no wards watching over the runes. No one thinks anyone's going to come off these lanes anytime soon. Just this slip positioning. No tail, completely in fog of war. Can't find the target he's looking for, however. Finally, LGD will do something about it. They put an observe ward on the other side of the tree line, so they can at least see where that Wraith King comes out of the trees. And a good pull on top lane for PSG.LGD. Jirax is already pulling the creep wave over, and now this will actually cause some level of contest.
Yeah, looks like Ana wants to fight for it, though.
He's going up to FY. Flat cannon up with the Rocket Barrage. FY is going to cop a decent amount of damage, but with the Arctic Burn, he's able to jump down and stay out of vision of Ana, and now it's up to Chalice. Who does he want to go on? The Splinter Blast, they split up so the damage is shared. G-Rex has the salve available, so Ana goes in for the rocket barrage. Chalice, Shikuchi is 2 seconds away. The fairy fire will give him a little bit more life to survive. And G-Rex is so low, the last attack in from FY finds the kill on G-Rex. Ana still maybe wants to force the issue. No, he cannot. There's nothing left in the tank.
All these small things make a big difference. The first dodge from G-Rex is great, but the last Splinter Blast from FY is even better. Getting that kill. Still, OG look good in the laning stage. They are 1k up. Mainly the bottom lane is where they're putting so much pressure. There is 5 CS on the Drow Ranger at minute 4:30.
Yep. Is this why Notel is also running underneath the tier 2 town to deny himself? He took the creep wave with him. Not this is so Seb can be a little bit more aggressive into the town. They're only going to do minimal damage. Yeah, Thompson's very low. Bottling up. Somnus has 3 points up in these burning spears, and Thompson, Notel, he's going to arrive, he's going to give the bottle charges over. And Thompson is still, he's bottle charging between the burning spears to stay alive. If he did not have Notel TP in and actually die in the bottom lane, that would never have been a survival. But now the 5-minute runes are under contest. And PSG.LGD will take 3 out of the 4.
It's so strange to look at the CS. Like, the mid laner for OG has the same CS as the safe laner for LGD, and they both have a very bad game so far. So, it's kind of even across the board in that sense. The biggest problem for Thompson is just how many denies are on this Huskar. He will be grabbing that level 6 now, and this makes the lane so much more difficult for Thompson because
they're going up to Ana, top lane. Chalice diving in pretty deep with a swarm out. Ana just has to flag, can get a little bit more damage, and with the help of Notel, maybe they can actually get the revenge kills. FY can't finish the job, in fact, he'll die! OG bring the numbers, Notel with the rotation. And LGD, the lane that's meant to be really aggressive, still not fully buffed up by Ame just yet.
Ame is trying to hit Seb. It's not going very well. Enchantress. What a hero.
It's actually one of the, like, when you think about it for a Drow Ranger, you need to keep the cold arrows continuously flying out towards that off lane and get this slow, make it so they can't just charge forward. But this Enchantress with 3 points and untouchable is untouchable with the Chalice. He didn't have Shikuchi. And Ana can just run him down. Now on bottom lane 2, underneath the tier 1 tower, it's going to be a quick gust back, but Seb, he knows Witch Doctor can't attack. Once the abilities are being used, Seb is just all by himself, able to tank through everything. He's got raindrops, he's got stick charges, and they are really going to force the issue. Ame doesn't want to be here, TP out, no tail! He'll get the stun, X-Nova needs to help him out. The little bit of Voodoo Restoration goes a long way, but not far enough. Seb stays on top of him, he's got a couple of extra impetus to throw out, and he's found Drow Ranger. A double kill for the offlane of OG.
And they get the tower as well.
Oh boy. When is this Huskar going to start to change up the tempo? LGD needs something. OG, they're having so much fun in their side lanes. Now a 2k gold advantage going their way.
Thompson is in trouble.
That'll be something. FY gets the kill on the mid laner, but he feels like the full sacrificial lamb for OG.
Yeah, Enchantress and Gyro are the 2 carries on OG's side right now. Thompson is probably going to go more of a utility route. It's very early to call it, obviously. He's currently eyeing up a Veil, which will help his Gyrocopter do a lot more damage in teamfights with the call down and the rocket barrage. But yeah, it's the only lane that's really going well for LGD is that mid lane. So Somnus definitely has to deliver in this game. And you look at LGD's heroes, they probably want to play around him.
They got his attention. Somnus jumps over towards the Wraith King. A lot of damage from the spirits. He'll go for the Inner Vitality. Support rotating in. It's coming in from Seb. Somnus doesn't want anything to do with this one. Enchantress is the Huskar killer, but when Ame can get the silence, G-Rex has to switch targets, try and keep him alive, but now Thompson also arrives. The blast is heavy damage into X-Nova, but Chalice will also TP in, looking for the kill on G-Rex. G-Rex, the TP out will be possible. Raindrop protection. Enchantress, he just can't bloody attack. It's the slowest attack into the untouchable Seb. Shikuchi will do some damage, but now the bottle charges. Thompson is enabling his offlaner, and PSG.LGD, they're uncertain how they fight this, but this will be the easier kill. Thompson trying to taunt. It's smart, it's raining, and he baited, and Chalice will fall! Thompson, he looked like a damsel in distress, but this damsel is a knight.
The action's not stopping yet though, no tail in mid.
Yeah, look at it go underneath the tower. Somnus with a quick jump, but no tail. He's okay with this. Thompson re-arrives back in the mid lane. Another quick blast onto the Huskar. And Seb can keep the pressure on the bottom lane. LGD, they're under such heavy pressure. 17 kills in 9 minutes. And OG are hitting 3k advantage, both gold and experience, and then not wanting to let up. Notel's just running down the mid. He doesn't care, he doesn't have an ultimate. He's got friends. 4 players from OG. Of course, that makes the Splinter Blast from FY a little bit more effective. Underneath the tower, Somnus will cop the homing missile, but Seb's rotated in from the side. FY, he knows there's no save. It's the reason why he never even leveled up Cold Embrace.
OG are playing super fast. This rotation is a really big one. If they don't get the tower here, this isn't really worth it for them, but... Oh, that's a nice interaction. Just life draining into Pugna.
It's balance in all things. FY, Splinter Blast is out. Notel's very, very low. Husker jumping forward, chasing after Anna, but with the cooldown and the flag cannon. Somnus cannot repel firepower of that magnitude. Durex wants to get it back out again. He won't get it in time. Barely missing out. It would have saved Anna's life. So OG, they have to turn around. Notel still not level 6. Can't stay here. Thompson with a maledict on him. He will die. Charles has a double kill, and LGD are fighting back. Io has managed to come all the way over. Not the heroes he want, the agents he want to try and find. Charles gets a triple kill, but it's Durex on the run from Xnova. Paralyzing cask off cooldown in 1 second time, a little too long. As Seb and Durex moves over, but Charles, quick, fast, looking for the bounties, looking for the money and the bottle charges, and he'll get both of them.
This is such a huge moment. What LGD just managed to do was take a team fight without Ame, and they get all 4 runes. It looks like Ame might die here to Ana, but
yeah,
they got so much out of this.
Support's coming in. Charles's TP is enough just to warn off Ana, because there was no support nearby. Charles may try and keep up with this, but without the swarm, he can't find the kill on the gyro.
In the last 2 minutes, OG just lost a 4k gold advantage, and that was a 4-on-5 in mid as well. The drow was never there, so Ame has fully caught up. All those runes. This is a very, very big comeback for LGD.
Yep.
These last minutes.
This game gets a little bit closer. Of course, OG, they're still going to be very happy with their start. But the Enchantress needs to start having a little bit more damage, building in towards the Dragonlance, have the range to play with. Notel, okay, that's aggressive. Fortification will stop Thompson from taking this mid tower. DD rune, catapult plus a level 4 nether blast. That's practically the instant kill on the tower. Same as the Wraith King dying off, but Durex and Anna, they've arrived. They want the kill onto Ame. The stun will not land in time. Homing missile will go global, but the rest of the teammates get out. Husker, life breaks forward, chasing after the Pugna. No to try to save him, and the curse is out. It's over on the Wraith King, but Thompson just solos up the Husker. He'll still burn out the burning spears. They'll be a little bit more difficult now the armor is done. The 2 heroes down for LGD, and OG are not letting up on the pressure. They're now hitting the tier 2 tower in mid.
Yeah, they're going to have to back out here, though, as Seb does TP top to defend against Chalice. But yeah, the big news for LGD here really is they get that armlet on the Husker. It's been delayed a decent amount with Somnus' 4 deaths after what should have been a good laning stage. Managed to shut him down in a couple of exchanges, but it gets a lot harder when this armlet comes out. And this is when OG need to probably bring their Enchantress to every fight that they take into the Husker. I think these kills are going to be really, really difficult for them to claim. Also worth noting, the Wyvern has not skilled Cold Embrace yet, so obviously that's going to be an extra factor later on. For now, the magic damage is the vast majority of what OG have, but it's hard to kill a Husker that's Cold Embrace. He has a lot of magic resistance and takes 0 physical.
They'll need it later on. Just like Husker will need to upgrade his boots at some point. Somnus is just looking at a BKB, but hey, brown boots Husker, that's a thing too, right?
It's playable. I think phase boots might be good in this game still, though, but I don't think he necessarily needs to upgrade his boots.
Bottom lane's pushing in from Anna. Durex is there with a relocate if OG have the desire to fight. Of course, the next big fight, we should probably be looking towards Roshan after it happens. Be it for Husker to get the Aegis Immortal into that inventory, or for OG to steal it.
It's the next big point of contention for sure. OG might want to try to go for a bottom tier 2 first, and I feel like LGD are just not going to defend this tower. They're going to try to trade for the top tier 1 and get a good push out in the mid tier 1, and then maybe they can threaten Roshan so that
Ame is nearby. And underneath the observer ward, yeah, the homing missile comes for him. That observer was in a really good position for LGD. They go in under the draw range of the Nether Blast, almost have to kill her off. The Wraith Fire Blast, Notel was too far forward, and Thompson, will he actually die to well, he'll die to FY Splinter Blast. Durex is still very low, got to get rid of the bugs, but here, let it go. Xnova needs a good cast bounce, he's going to get it, and we've got the Maledict out, so Io is deleted, but Anna stands his ground. Io bites back, relocating in, needs to give the extra life, and OG stands strong. It's the real green wall. FY up and away. They get a little extra vision. Seb, he just needs one more impetus and that'll do the job. Unstoppable Enchantress. OG using their money to win the fight, and Jirax just coming back nice and quick.
They're playing off the strength of this Enchantress right now so much, OG. They have this understanding that Seb is the strongest hero on the map, so they just run the Enchantress in, do as much damage as possible. We see the replay here. This curse is really good, and it does give them the kill, but Ame has died beforehand. The burst damage coming out from Thompson was huge, because now there's no Drow Aura for the rest of the fight, and they're lacking that damage. Big mistake from Chalice here to just run in and get Wraith King stunned like this when he has ulti ready. And now, you see Somnus, he gets the first kill. Now he starts hitting Enchantress, and he's not low enough to get these attacks off fast. He also doesn't have Inner Vitality running. Yep. So a little bit of uncharacteristic individual mistakes from two of LGD's cores pay off very big time there for OG.
Yeah, and this first phase pick Drow Ranger doesn't really seem to have that much of an influence in the fights. There's too much nuke against her. Drow Ranger going in for a Mask of Madness. Ame just needs to speed up his level, his rate of farm, as well as do damage. Sometimes that is enough as a Drow Ranger, just have a Mask of Madness and a BKB, and you can be useful in the fights. But she needs to survive. So does Somnus. Thompson, you know, they're going to find each other up on top lane. Life break forward. And support. It was all a bait. How many times does Thompson look like a good kill? The curse! It's actually going to kill off the Puggle, or will it? Chalice came in close. He's going to finish it off, and what a great cast! Holding in OG. Anna will fall. 2 huge kills, and it's about to be 3. The reincarnation brings Notel back to a practical death, but Seb, he actually gets a kill on the Witch Doctor. The stun's removed. Notel will still burn. Nothing was going to stop that. But it wasn't a clean fight for LGD, but it was a damn good one.
At this time around, they have the support ready around Somnus. Has the heal running. They get in, and the really key curse coming out from FY sets that entire fight up for success, and this will be a Roshan kill. OG, they will not be in time to get down here. They're trying with the Enchantress to create a bit of distraction, but
it's taking time.
Super low.
Io, he's already come over. The spirits are going inside the pit. Somnus need to finish him. He gets mashed by Roshan! Weaver will still get the kill. And actually, he snatches the Aegis Immortal. The kill went to OG, and they'll take the kill into Ame as well.
That was really good from OG. I thought they couldn't be on time for that. Just barely get in. They get the last hit. Of course, Aegis is claimed by Chalice, but way better than giving a free one over to the Huskar, who can use it much better in this game.
As the fact they've still got 2 heroes dead.
Fast.
They're just going to push once again. Chalice is watching the mid lane, but I don't know how he's meant to stop OG coming down this lane. FY can do it with a Splinter Blast. They'll slow things up. But they've got the stolen catapult working for OG. A traitor in LGD's midst.
This tower is likely to fall. We'll see. Maybe OG will have to back off there. Actually, the enchanted catapult expires, so yeah, probably can't get this time around.
Got to give respect to LGD. They are up and kicking, and you've got Chalice with the Aegis Immortal, so we can be a little bit more aggressive in the next fights. But having an ancient stack, not too shabby to farm up. Everyone from OG stays together.
Xnova in a very awkward spot here, has been out on a mission. Does get pinged out, actually, and does get out.
And they're pinging, trying to look for his ward. He put it down in the lane instead, so it was a long way up they were looking. This may just burn a couple of sentries from OG, but they'll come towards the mid lane, maybe get some money to pay for it. As once again, LGD looking to force in the mid lane. But the defense duty is here. Great Observer Ward from LGD, gets really good information on OG's positioning. And they know, as a 5v5 fight, probably something they do not want to take right now.
OG are still doing a great job right now, but you got to think ahead in this game as well and imagine what will OG do once the BKB start coming out. LGD don't want to wait around though.
Yeah, he's coming in. Thompson has to cripify himself up. He will still get swarmed too. And Notel in the midst of the fight. Great Malander catching out both. Not to mention the cast step can't run away. That Death Ward is doing its work. And maybe there is time. No, the full Death Ward channel. That doesn't care about Untouchable. Notel should still pop in the trees. Xnova had more than enough damage to get the double kill. Now 3 heroes from OG who do not have buyback, so it's up to Anna and Jirax to 1, break the Aegis the Immortal, and 2, battle against FY. Remember, they are still a lot of players down as well for LGD, but Chalice feels strong. Chalice feels good. He's got Shikuchi off cooldown. He'll Shikuchi up. He'll find Anna, but Jirax giving him the life. He does have much more regeneration to offer, and with the Spirit Vessel, there's actually no regeneration to offer. Jirax low, but he should survive.
He will stay alive. So, OG do hold. It costs them though. They lost multiple heroes. They do defend the tower completely. Drow, once again, just chilling. Zhao's in the bottom. Look at the massive damage output from Zhao in that team fight.
Yep.
A grand total of 0.
Hey, it's 55 for everybody else. She's there in spirit, and yeah, but she does look like the Ultra Ranger from Warcraft 3. Like, this is like 33% chance in the jungle.
Oh, the good old marksmanship.
Yeah.
With the one-shots.
Yeah, now it's actually useful. Give Draw work to rework. Techies is next on the list to actually be useful and competitive. Let's have a look at the fight once again. So Thompson underneath the tower. Had no way to really be involved in this, and a fantastic play from X-Nova. Double Maledict, perfect cast, perfect Death Ward.
Yeah, the Death Ward is really the big fight winner here. It's the one way they can kill Seb in this exchange, as Huskar is already dead, and they do manage to land it. So huge for them to pull this off. I'm thinking ahead. I'm looking at these BKBs. They are on the way. Chalice changed his mind. He was working on Diffusal, now looking at a BKB instead. Huskar is still eyeing up his. Actually changed it to a Halberd for now. And I would imagine
a new target. It's going to be Seb jumping forward with the Maledict up. Now push Seb up the hill away from the Death Ward, but that won't matter. Relocate coming in from Io. Seb is still burning up to the Burning Spears, but it's not enough burn. A turn, Anna onto his friend. G-Rex is just there to help, but maybe they haven't killed him enough. Yeah, they have. Sometimes with a life break forward. Had no other choice to jump out of the call down. The support is there. Chalice with a Spirit Vessel. Anna just has no more life to give. Chalice has all the life to take. And they want to keep the fight going. Notel will TP up. There's nothing to cancel it. Finding Seb. Thompson's still in the neighborhood. They're burning every single Spirit Vessel charge that FY has got. He's down to 0. But if Chalice can attack slowly into Seb, maybe they find the kill. Yeah, change over to Thompson. That's an easier one to get.
He wants the bounty, and he's going to get it.
And that means bottle charges as well. Quick blast, Thompson's got the drain, 10-stick charges, quick time lapse from Chalice, and Thompson TP's away to safety. X-Nova TP's into the shrine, and Thompson body blocked up by Chalice, and he will tick out to this. They actually give the kill. Oh, it goes to Chalice. I thought they were trying to give it to Arme.
Arme did damage.
Yay!
He showed up in the end. He was farming all that time in bottom lane. You have to remember, these fights are pretty much, LGD are, they're not breaking even in the fights, but they're breaking even across the map.
Yeah.
They're giving so ridiculously much space to Ame that he's starting to catch up to the top net worths of the game after a terrible laning stage.
It's not just
much
him.
Space.
You look at that net worth graph, it's almost zeroed out. They're getting closer, same for the experience. And that's the biggest swing, almost 6,000 the advantage for OG. And we're about to null this game. But that's why now, next critical items. You were looking at them before, the BKBs to arrive. I'm seeing them in the buy-up for both Seb as well as Anna too. And Chalice.
Yeah, that's big items for both teams on the way. BKB looks to be an important item this game. Unfortunately, I would say they're way less useful for OG compared to LGD. It just looks like an incredible item for the Radiant, whereas for the Dire, it's useful. They have to get something to deal with this Witch Doctor and the damage from Burning Spears from Somnus, so they feel like they have to buy it. But it's definitely not ideal. It seems like LGD's itemization is just going to be more value per gold. But OG are still looking okay.
Yeah. Both teams that are in this game, almost nothing in it. 1%. Who cares about 1%? If it was 17%, then maybe.
Actually, only 1%. That's...
Yeah, it's close. It's exactly the type of game we wanted to have. Not just one-sided. But they're fueling the beast. Anna is on his way towards completing up the SMY. He's practically got the money for it, but won't have buyback. But thanks to these heavy stacks that were prepared, OG are getting that cash into him.
Yep, Jarek's getting a little 15 is massive here. Should be grabbing it from the next creep that they kill, so...
Yeah, forgot about the experience.
XP gain talent on Io is such a big part of this hero. The talents of Io are so incredible that just getting toward those earlier makes such a big difference. Jerax hasn't picked his talent yet. I do imagine it will. There we go. Tether.
Aghanim Scepter up.
Will now give Gyro that side gunner.
This is why Anna also has that Maelstrom earlier on. I understand that you want to have him with the BKB, but this is still just so powerful in the current game until all these BKBs from LGD have arrived. Mid tower, Anna gets the denial. He was waiting for it. Just outside of the vision of LGD. They didn't see it coming.
I got a TP out of No Tail as well, but still.
Looks like Seb's changed his mind. He had the BKB queued up, but now Scythe of Vice. He's looking for Disable.
Yeah, OG might feel like if they don't get this jump with the Hex, they don't have solutions for the BKBs, so the way that they kill heroes will be that they see the enemy first, get that clutch hex off, and then do the burst damage that they do have. So I kind of like this idea from Seb, but of course it is also dangerous in the sense that in his way of defense, he's been almost immortal so far this game, but it starts getting difficult when the BKBs come out.
Yeah.
Ame's working on his. He's not going for the Silver Edge. He will be going BKB as it looks. BKB completed on Weaver. Huskar is only 1,400 away. He's died 8 times, by the way. Somnus has been... He's third net worth in his team. Very unusual for this LGD squad.
Roshan's alive. You got one little creep sitting in there from Seb, waiting to watch it. While top lane, Thompson takes the tier 1 tower. Chalice looking to chase him down. The Crepify and TP is available. That's exactly what happens from Thompson. That's why the curse out from FY. Support rotating over. Don't think Notel believes he can do anything here, but he can when the rest of his team will arrive. All 5 players from OG running forward. Chalice does at least get the kill onto Thompson, but what is the cost? Somnus, the cold embrace, protected for the moment. Not to mention the paralyzing cast. They just can't attack and get one last life break off, but it's really the space creep for Chalice. He's brought down. They had the vision. Chikuching underneath the sentry ward of OG gives us a 3-for-4 trade. One last long-range impetus from Seb. Picks off FY, and Ame survives because Ame is not there.
Hey Ame, you like the bottom half of the map? It's gonna get 2 bounty runes, farm some more gold.
Hey, that's value. That's value right there. He stayed alive. The aura was up for the entire team fight.
Yeah, he's gonna join his team when he has BKB, and then you imagine these fights will be going very differently.
Yeah,
it's kind of impressive to watch how well LGD play around this with the heroes that they have. I think a lot of other teams in this tournament will be starting to bring the Drow to these fights. And you feel like maybe he should be coming for these fights, like just a little bit, a gust.
Yeah, even lending a gust would be so huge, stopping it. Like if it wasn't for X-Nova, I don't think this fight is anywhere near as close as it is. That cast
and, cold embrace
just control
so much time too. From FY onto the Huskar. Of course, very difficult hero to kill. There's no pure damage except the impetus for OG, so when he is low and is frozen and has that magic resistance, it really is only Seb killing him.
Yeah.
And makes you wonder if Seb wants to change his approach to these fights and save his pike. Just wait until Somnus gets low and gets cold embrace, pike away, get that big distance and get those big hits in. Because that last fight, sure, he did kill him, but damn, it took so long.
Well, he'll have an extra helping hand. Scythe is completed, 26 minutes in for this Enchantress.
He is rich.
Yeah, he is. And Anna is now recipe away from having BKB also completed. Because you have to keep your eye on the buyback menu, because LGD have 4 up at the moment, OG have 0. So if it comes to the fight just to get that Aegis Immortal into the hands, LGD have the money to keep the fight going. Charles will get rid of the little hellbear that was inside, and reveals to themselves that Roshan is up. But he's underneath. There's the first Hex going to use, and damn! That damage comes thick, comes fast.
Curse. Oh, it hurts so much because got him. No, mech.
He's alive. Jirax
that
is good.
Close. Looked for a moment like he had him with that last Splinter Blast timing, but
they're going in for Roshan. Weaver's down. They can force one of these buybacks out. The vision from LGD was dewarded previously, so they need extra information. FY's coming in. He can Arctic burn him. They'll see the spirits bouncing around side of Roshan, but can you really get it?
I think they'll let him have it.
getting aggressive.
They have no curse, they have no Weaver, and they're so close to their BKBs. So this timing, perfect for OG. BKB will now be completed by Drow. Huskar has his as well. So in the following fight, that will be coming up soon, it's 10, 10, and 9-second BKBs for the LGD side. But that Aegis buffer could make the difference. The cheese as well onto Jirax. So this gyrocopter more or less has 3 lives in the coming fight, unless Jirax gets focused. That's something LGD have to pay attention to.
Notel jumps forward, finds FY. He does not stand a chance. This Blink Dagger, he doesn't have many items, the Wraith King, but the Blink Dagger just starts initiation off. And Seb can keep the disable following after that point, not to mention the heavy DPS.
It's the one item you truly want on a support Wraith King. If you're in a game where you're not going to get Mana Burn and not get your ulti off, which doesn't seem to be the case. Actually, Weaver does have a bit. Oh, buyback forced.
Yeah.
Big damage from Ame.
They're going to start to back off. BKB has just arrived for Anna as they want to keep the force going in. Jirax, like, on purpose took a lot of damage before that fight began so he can use the cheese he's holding in his hand. So allows him to just force the high ground against LGD. But how much does OG really need to force? Like, are they on a clock? Do they need to go high ground? Does LGD hit that point where OG just cannot deal with them?
I think OG got through the stage of the game that should have been really, really difficult for them. So They can control the map, they can keep getting bounty runes. If Ana starts getting some serious single target damage with the side gunner, they have solutions for Huskar later on. So I definitely feel like both teams can win this game going late. It's just, you've seen these Drow lineups, and we saw this game from LGD as well. They played a Drow strat against VP, and they were looking really grim. They take one big fight, and they just run down mid and end the game. So Drow strats, even when they're behind, they're still dangerous to face just because of that raw pushing power. When you make a mistake, you've got to either have the buybacks ready or be sure that your lanes are pushed in really, really well to not give anything over the other way.
Well, Drow is not running down mid. OG, 3 sentry wards go down to ensure there is no vision around the hillside. Actually, make it 4. This also means that Weaver can't Shakuchi around the fight. So Topson drops the nether ward. He wants to just start blasting away at that tier 3 tower, and this is not something they can just let happen. Chalice is beginning his TP back. He wanted more time to farm. He's trying to get in for this nullifier, but it's taking time. At least the Drow Ranger can get rid of the ward. That's easy money, but outside the base, Ana, he's getting real trouble. X-Nova, the Death Ward's doing work. Jirax, really? Look at this life! Topson, there's just chain healing! LGD need to back off. The buybacks are coming in. Topson comes back, and they are just impetus throwing towards Somnus. He can armor toggle. It's a perfect curse. Red King will lose his ultimate with the gust of follow-up. Ana can't trigger off anything. There's no BKB left anymore. And Weaver protected by the cold embrace. Chalice, he can't time-lapse. Seb was able to bring him down, and with the Netherward, X-Nova is just hitting himself up, but that's where the paralyzing cast. Does it bounce back over to Seb? Yes, it does. It holds him there. So Somnus looking for the life break. Jirax is around the corner too. Topson took himself a double kill for Somnus. He wants to run forward. Jirax gives so much life back over to Seb to stand his ground. The tether did snap, however. Topson wants to help out. The blast is heavy, but LGD are stronger. Topson with a spirit vessel. He cannot survive. He cannot blink. He actually can't even drain. He knows he has to wait this out. Spirit vessel will now time off, and once he got Decrepify, drain, he turns around on X-Nova, but Somnus is here looking for the big kill. Almost a denial from the creeps, but it is Somnus who takes the kill. And OG in full retreat. They did not claim anything inside the base. LGD come out to them.
And that was both the Aegis and Cheese expended from OG, as well as the Pugna dieback. Fortunately for Topson, his first life was actually a deny. He killed himself by draining so much life into the IO. So at the very least, LGD won that fight by 1 less kill bounty, if you will. But still, they're starting to show what they can do with these BKBs. This was a fight that was supposed to be massively disadvantageous for them with this Aegis and Cheese. The next one will be so much easier. Also, just the safety of knowing.
Oh, bottom lane. Curse. FY, curses, TP's out. The relocate was on the way from Io.
Just the safety of knowing that Pugna has no buyback now. It's an excellent target in the coming fights, and we see it here. So the healing here is actually just ridiculous, the way they do this. So they do the perfect mech, they keep draining into the IO, who's healing the gyro. Finally, he does get the deny off, buys back instantly, comes back in. But the next curse,
that felt a bit odd.
This seals the fight.
It looked like Jirax actually was just at full health, so there was no... Was there even a heal going through the tether at the beginning? At least they turned it around, OG, to get a little bit more of a closer fight, but Seb is still doing the calculations in his head. Was that good? A little bit. Jirax is now going to have more money than God. Doesn't go for the health regen. Talent goes for 150 gold per minute on this level 20 IO. Wants to get the Greaves up, wants to have the defense items available.
Getting so high levels from just playing around the gyro who farms so fast, so, yep.
Do you actually want to see him get a lot more damage too? Like, you're seeing a lot of sustain coming in from Io, but the damage from Ana is not that high. He's been staring down the barrel of this Satanic for a very long time, but the damage just doesn't exist yet.
I think it's something Jirax might plan for the super late game, but for now I like this defensive approach better. They have to do everything they can to just enable Ana to stay alive. So every defensive item in the book for Jirax will make a difference. Finally, a 33-minute halberd for Somnus. He's so far behind what he usually would be in this position on Huskar, but his team has got the job done so that they're still in this... They're doing okay in this game. They're still feeling the pressure, though, for sure.
Well, Ame is finally actually hit level 20, so that plus 20 marksmanship agility is now amping everybody up by 75 damage. And remember, it is a full range lineup, so they actually hit quite hard when they have the opportunity to just stand there and do it. Topson's looking to actually just burst. He's gone for this level 1 Dagon, and he's got the whole level 5 queued up, ready to go. So they just want to pop him and move forward.
Yeah, OG, they have all this magic damage, so if they can either get the Hex Burst with the Dagon or outlast the BKBs, this item build from Thompson will be very useful later on.
But can he kill a Chalice? Like, I'm looking at Chalice at the moment, and he's already got the Sacred Relic. The damage output, 137 plus 169.
It's going to be a massive problem for Thompson. He can't self-decrep anymore against this Nullifier.
Yep.
And Chalice will for sure be running at this Pugna at the start of every fight. Him or the IO. And whoever gets decrepified, he just keeps laying into them in his BKB.
Chalice denied the Illusion Rune by NoTel. Drops an extra Sentry Ward because, hey, why not? Got the money. But OG, how do you play this? You've now got the Satanic up from the Gyrocopter. Do you just go high ground? Is Roshan the next port of call? He may respawn in 30 seconds time. But in the meantime, these BKBs are arriving. Huskar is able to actually get items for once. And the Drow Ranger is continuously finding levels.
Both teams are absolutely playing for this Roshan right now. It's the most important objective on the map. I think OG just trying to rush on into the enemy base head first. Oh, actually, they're going to go to Huskar.
He's in trouble! He can't get the BKB off! No buyback is available. 80 seconds, he's down. Next Nova tries to create space. The paralyzing cask. OG with 2 split up. The cask will never bounce. Now there's 2 heroes, potentially 3 without buyback. Actually, Ame goes invis. They have detection. They have something. They have a homing missile. But Ame's got to push from FY to get him back home.
I bet Somnus is in disbelief that he died there. There was no help from the Wyvern. He just kind of got blown up by magic damage as Huskar in this moment. The Decrepify plus Veil doing work.
There's the Gust back. Anna can actually burn the BKB quickly. Charles coming into the fight. You got the Curse out. It's just an Enchantress without the Impetus hitting in towards Anna, but Charles with that Nullifier. He's ready to fight, looking for a new target. NoTel's in deep. Damn that damage. Charles! So huge. Still has Nullifier available. Nice Gust, actually slowing down the Enchantress. The jump forward and then has to timeless back away to safety. Thompson put down the wall, but he can't keep his life. He was in way too deep. Seb, is there a stun? There isn't. No one that pierces the immunity.
They defended 3 on 5. The Huskar with no buyback. The Witch Doctor, I believe, also didn't have buyback, just ends up respawning here toward the end of the fight. Ridiculous defense coming in from LGD here to just find this minor opportunity to get the jump. And this is big, because now they're getting Roche. OG are 3 on 5. There is no way in hell they can take this fight without 2 cores.
I seriously thought it was LGD who were the ones who were meant to be like potentially losing a full lane of racks. Yeah. But without the buybacks on OG, you can send the creep in, you know what's going on, but you can't really contest this. NoTel is just pushing out the bottom lane. Seb will not go in, it will be suicide to do so. LGD have Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shot.
And you're not going to kill Somnus twice in a row like this, what they just pulled before. It was amazing enough for them to do it 1 time. They cannot do it 2 times. And now, Somnus, after experiencing that death, will know how to adapt for the following fight.
Yep.
They're going straight down mid. Look at this pushing speed from this lineup. Everybody hits for like 300 damage, except the supports. Drow hits for 408. Weaver hits for, what's that? Yeah, about 350. And the Huskar also up over that 300, 325. Ridiculous damage. 1 team fight win for LGD where OG don't have buybacks. Game is over. They cannot make a big mistake now, OG. And their buybacks, they seem so far away. Gyro needs 600. Enchantress needs 600. Pugna needs 400, but has it on cooldown. Okay, 20 seconds, so he might actually get it in time.
They're getting there. They're pushing out the side lanes. They're trying to have as much pressure forward. And actually, the 3-man smoke up. OG coming into their jungle. Now, they're fighting outside their base into LGD. They're losing the Observer Ward. Sorry, losing that one little melee creep, who's practically their Observer Ward, but they go for the wraparound. Thompson needs to put the Death Ward in behind him. Anna, they are baiting them down a little bit lower into the river. X-Nova's a primary target, instantly nuked down. Anna will find the kill onto him, but then Curse onto Seb. No one's nearby. The call out from Anna, he's chasing after FY. There's a Refresher Shot. He's got a secondary Curse, but Ame, the damage is there. They kill off the IO. Buybacks are required. At least the reincarnation will be there for the Wraith King, so he can keep on fighting through as Ame on the run. He's He's a big kill because he takes away a large portion of the damage. The back over towards the curse is Seb being attacked, but Chalice, without the BKB, he takes forever to hit in. Meanwhile, Seb is destroying everyone. That had Shikuchi through him. Somnus' BKB is wearing off, and now, well, with the extra help, N0tail and Ana, they just rock a barrage. Chalice left to use a quick little jump out, and then maybe the damage onto Huskar. The drain, Top to try to bring him down. Somnus wants to try and survive. Inner Vitality and Armor toggle is not enough. He can't toggle that. N0tail's ready for another jump, but Chalice is too fast and away. Stole the double damage rune. But now it's OG coming down the mid. They just want to force buybacks. They can't get much more.
Who cares about numbers advantage? The really important buyback for OG was available.
N0tail
GRX
found
had
Chalice. They're actually just going one-on-one duel. And they come through the mid. Ana, Malphus on him with the death ward. GRX need to start healing him up. Ana's in actually a lot of trouble. That's a lot of pop damage. That's why FY has to come out to try and keep the fight going. A quick homing missile, so Ana can turn around while they jump back in towards mid. Dro Ranger, actually protected almost by the Decrepit fight. Thompson never got the Dagon off. And you see how much Chalice hits. N0tail. Oh, Chalice
baited out
the BKB. N0tail. 6 seconds until reincarnation is up. And Decrepit fight, they'll use the curse. But this is buying time.
He will have it
Reincarnation is now available. Thompson goes for the nuke.
I could just blink away instead.
He did. There was no damage onto N0tail. He's got the swarm on him, but he's away to safety. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, the creep wave is pushing in. OG's taking the bounty runes.
And this
is a lot of money 40 minutes in.
This fight in the Dire Jungle took forever, and it feels like it's an eternity ago. But I think the one key thing that happened in this fight that didn't happen in the previous ones was FY's first curse was not good. It was next to only Somnus. He was just standing there looking at the gyro, couldn't really get much done. And he used the Refresher Shard for a second curse that also didn't do that much for them. So OG, if they can play around these curses, that seems to be the big difference maker. Maybe we'll see them try to target the Wyvern, which is really difficult, or just keep really focusing on keeping that good spread on their heroes.
The spread worked last time. But then LGD, maybe look for a more favorable position to get them to clump up. Inside the base is normally that favorable position. You can't blame LGD for being aggressive. They had Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shot. It was great. They had everything.
They had all the advantages.
How many Lincolns are also arriving? You just had a Lincoln Sphere arrive onto Jirax. And another one's been purchased over on Ana. So a lot of ways to block these attacks. The big abilities, they can block a curse. That's even huger. Now, FY. Quick 4-staff away.
FY's game is twice as hard now. When there's 2 targets you can't curse, it's so much more difficult to take the fight, especially the IO. He has to hit the Splinter Blast first to break off the Lincoln, and that generally will give Jerax enough time to react and spread away from his Gyrocopter. So, yeah, really, really big items getting those Lincolns out here for OG. And you look across to LGD, what have they got? Huskar feels like he's made like almost no progress for 10 or 15 minutes. Somnus is not getting big enough.
You celebrated the halberd even though it was still late.
It was 33 minutes. That was a really late halberd.
Yep.
It's the last item he got. It's 8 minutes ago.
Yep.
Or maybe he got the Lance after. I'm actually not sure.
Either way, Somnus not in the happiest position of all, but at least he has buyback. Same with the Weaver. As OG, at the pressure of the lanes, it is bringing the farm to LGD, so they're at least not having to go out into dangerous positions. They just can't farm up any part of the jungle, and OG being really good at continuously stacking, buffing up Ana. He's about to hit 25, and Jirax's been with him the entire time too, so 25 Gyrocopter will arrive, and he's going to go for, well, surprise, surprise, 3 homing missiles.
Never seen that one before.
Yeah, come on, global cooldown, it's the old axe, right? That's what you... That's the reason why it's a talent and not an Aghanim's upgrade anymore.
I wonder what Jerax is going to take if he wants the relocate cooldown. So it goes from 90 to 30. Could be a really big deal in this
The Observe
game.
Ward. It caught a glimpse of Chalice running under it. Now Chalice has friends, however. 4 heroes smoked up. LGD want a target. N0tail is the biggest one on offer, and that's a big one to claim because he does have the Gem of True Sight, but N0tail sees Arme coming and then blinks away. The attack never connects.
So quick on the reaction there. Had the right read. You saw N0tail drawing on the map as well. Knew which way they were probably going to go. So nothing comes from that. That's another upgrade to the Dagon for Thompson. It's now Dagon 4. Holding on to his buyback. That's a lot of burst. You saw what happened last time when they found the Witch Doctor. Just blew him up in the Dire Jungle. And that's another thing about that fight as well. we were looking at all the advantages that LGD had. Sometimes the biggest advantage is just the element of surprise. Like OG caught them off guard, they got the right jump, and LGD for once in that situation did not have the right hero positioning. But now that they're set up on their own hill, they're standing in a much better position. But just look at how much OG pulled ahead after that fight.
Yeah, they're now 11,000.
Big dive in golden XP.
Experience is around 18k. They're finding a secondary save. Charles' on progression now gives him an Aghanim Scepter, so we've got that time lapse on friendlies. So make OG's attack a little bit harder too. But then again, plus 8% on the impetus damage. Paralyzing Cask, Maledict, Notel. They just want to kind of crack the reincarnation, but it's such a low cooldown that cracking this needs to count for a little bit more. They use Death Ward too, and Somnus, they have to force staff him away, so Notel.
That kind of did nothing.
Yeah, it's... In fact, I think it burned more for LGD than OG ever thought they had to burn. Death Ward's on cooldown for a minute.
They got a little bit out on the map at the very least here.
Look
LGD,
at the spawn time on Roshan, it's 20 seconds. It's so quick.
Ana?
He's close. Sentry Ward gets planted. Anna's still out of range of it. Observer and Sentry, they'll see Notal jump in right on top of him. He doesn't have that reincarnation back up against the Notal's down, but Anna, he turns on the damage. BKB with a Black Cannon Jerks is there to help him out. Somnus standing his ground, the cold embrace. Anna doesn't do more damage anymore. It's all up to Seb. He looks for his target and they pop him. They pop 2, they pop 3. Arme forced up to wait. He'll actually be able to evade, so Seb can't get the instant kill onto the Dro Ranger. Xnova knows he needs to retreat quickly. But with Roshan up in... Actually, no, he's up in 2 minutes time. It's not even a fast one. That was a potential spawn time. OG, it's their choice. Do they want to go up without Anna, or do they just wait it out?
I think this is a difficult siege for them. Topson is actually sticking around, has the sentry advantage here, but does know what Ame is up to. Kind of looks like he's baiting it.
Oh! Yeah, you did do that!
He was baiting it. He was baiting it.
And now they go up 100 seconds without the Dro Ranger. All 3 cores from LGD are down. OG, this is the moment. This is the day. They will take the mid lane of Rax. They got extra catapults converted for the cores. Fortification will buy a little bit more time. But OG, there should be 2 lanes of Rax. You can already see them itching to move towards the top. There's no tier 3 tower to work through. 26 seconds until the Weaver. That's the window of opportunity.
Jerax helping with the push a lot here with that attack talent. So it goes that little bit faster, which might have made a difference here. Huskar about to spawn. They got 2 lanes.
And OG, they'll back up for now. They'll grab the creep wave on bottom. And they'll look towards Roshan. They know he could possibly spawn up. He's 30 seconds away. Let's have a look at this. Explosion of Arme. 70% to 0. I think he's a happy chappy.
That's that taken 5. So Roche, 15 seconds away. You have this feeling that if OG do manage to claim this, it should be almost impossible for them to lose this game.
That's why LGD are coming out.
And I think at this point, you look at LGD's lineup, I think they have to rely on a good curse. They need OG to help kill themselves. The damage output from this Radiant lineup is still insane with that heavy physical, but...
I hate to tell you, but OG have 5 buybacks available and a shrine they can TP over to.
That helps.
Yeah, it really does. Here comes Somnus, looks inside the pit, sees Jirax, sees Anna, forces him away. The swarm flies forward, but OG have the high ground. They trigger the first Lincoln Sphere out, and Notel jumps in. He gets the stun over on the Weaver, but they want the bigger one. Huskar, nuke down, drained out. They'll time-lapse, giving Somnus more life to fight with the BKB protection. Maledict and the Death Ward, they're pushing him back. Somnus will come up. FY gets away from Notel, who'll now turn over towards Xnova, but it's all on the back of the cores. You'll get the kill onto Anna, but there's just not enough buybacks in LGD's tank to survive this. There's 1 for the Weaver, but Huskar is down. Notel keeps the pressure on. He's got reincarnation, slowing him up, and FY, Seb hits like a cannon. Buybacks are in for LGD. Roshan's still alive, and just for good measure, a double damage rune in the top river. Sure, why not?
I've seen faster Roshans, but not that many.
Aegis to the Immortal.
They've defended with 3 before. Oh. They have to do it again. 50 seconds should be more than enough for OG to force in, but this 3-man defense against Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher.
No curse as well.
I'm favoring OG a little bit here.
Arme at least has his BKB up. Charles needs another 10 seconds before his will be available. They can really only defend the tier 4 towers. There's still a 5% chance. That's more than I would have given LGD at the moment. But the jump in, no doubt looking for the target. They just eliminate Arme and maybe eliminate them from game 1. Yes, they do! OG! 49 minutes it almost took. And now they are one victory away from the TI8 Grand Final.
Is this the first time Drow lost at the main stage?
It could definitely have been.
I think it's one of the first at least. It was the first Drow loss for Ame. So OG defeating one of LGD's best strategies.